I believe him. Okay, I want to believe him. I even asked him to come on the show, and surprisingly, he ignored me. So yeah, we'll see. Well, just for instance, I mean, let's just say they what would they have to do? They have to give up at least next year's first round, this year's second round, and restructure Burrow's contract, right? So I mean, that's all doable. They could do that.
Well, the Burrow would come after, I think.
Right.
I think what they're trying to do is just see how low they can go, if there's even a possibility there, and then if they can, they'll make it happen. I don't discredit Pac-Man as much as maybe some others do out there. I actually have spent some time with him at the draft a few years ago and in Cincinnati the year before that. Decent enough guy. He loves the Bengals, and he does have some connections, but I think unfortunately his own personal situations have kind of caused some people to be cynical about the whole thing, which is fine. I don't doubt that they're probably sniffing around. I mean, the reports where they were doing that before the Ravens got him. So I think it's like just something that has to completely make sense for them draft capital wise. And then wouldn't they have to work out an extension and all that kind of stuff for Crosby potentially, or rework the contract?
I don't know, because I mean he signed a new contract last year, so I don't know if they have to rework it or not. I supposedly the Ratbirds were going to do that when they were talking to Trey, and Trey, we're going to sign you and we're going to sign Mac, like Richard Skinner said yesterday. They couldn't even afford to do that, so I don't believe anything the Ravens say. Dale, what do you think? I know you don't believe this at all, and I'm hoping. I don't know. We'll see.
No, I wouldn't be mad at it, but I think honestly, for pick 10 is where you're talking the starting point. And I think if you're the Bengals, what I would do if I was the Bengals, I would wait and see who's available. Is Caleb Downs, David Bailey, Reuben Bain, Sonny Styles all off the board? Like all my blue chip guys, they're all off the board. I'm at pick 10. And I go, Raiders, here's pick 10. Maybe I give you a sweetener for a third-round pick next year, because right now the Bengals are projected to get a third-round comp pick for Trey.
That's a good call. Yep.
Well, it wasn't me that brought it up. It was Greg or Chopper, somebody on my show. I'm stealing it from them. I could take credit. I should.
You should. No, I was kidding. You shouldn't.
I was there. But no, that would make sense, right? Like to give the sweetener and pick 10. Because it's supposed to be a really, really, really good class next year. Quarterbacks receive every position. Like it's projected to be, and I do early work on drafts. It should be a really good class in 2027.
So first of all, I just got to shout out Antoine Malone, real quick. He travels a lot for work. He's from Texas. A couple of years ago, he came out here. He was staying in LA, and he drove down with me and a group of people that I was watching the Bengals Ravens playoff game with, and he came down my way, and it finally got to meet him after a long time. So awesome. I know he's joking about the lack of the guns out right now, but
well, don't worry. When
anyway,
it gets warm here, we know Dale will go sleeveless.
It's freaking 90 here today. I
wish I had that problem. Jeez,
God,
it's really windy here. Like the wind is crazy.
We got a chance to snow sometime this week.
But Antoine, you're from Texas. There's only two things that come from Texas: steers and queers, and you don't much look like a steer to me.
Oh, come on now. He's
no.
Like him.
No, that's a quote from Full Metal Jacket, guys.
Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ! Like I didn't think of that on my own. It's from Full Metal Jacket. Come on.
All right.
Augie says Dale goes commando year round.
I said this earlier today, though. I do think that this is going to be a slow burn if Crosby gets moved. I think it's probably going to be like, probably maybe around the draft or after the draft, or that sort of thing.
Around the draft and before, because I do think the Raiders want to move him, despite what they said. I think they want draft capital for this year. Is kind of what I'm thinking. That's why I think it's going to be at the latest at the draft. And if it goes beyond the draft, they might just keep him then, because then they can just keep him and he's fully healthy and try to get their 2 first rounds next year.
Or teams start sniffing back around when he's supposed to be healthy enough to get back on the field if he's not dealt after the draft. That's supposed to be a summertime thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if this I know is like a free agency frenzy thing, but I think this whole thing has kind of cause teams to go like, okay, let's just kind of wait and see, and then but we'll see if Pac-Man's right. I don't know.
We'll see. Like I said, I hope he is. I don't know.
I'm with Ken. I think it happens like the night of round 1, if it's going to happen. Some like the board falls and someone's like, hey, I'm going to take that swing. And if they give up additional in along with their first round pick, but I think that's most likely. And to me, AC, if it's after the draft, I think it's before the trade deadline. Like if the Raiders aren't playing well, they're just like, hey, what picks can we get for Crosby at that point?
Yeah. Now Ken here says this. He said this a couple times. Trade Stewart for Crosby. I would, but I don't think the Raiders would take that straight up.
Well, no, it would be pick 10 and Stewart, and we were talking about that on Bengals and Brews. It's a show I do. I have a show.
Really? I never.
Yeah,
didn't know that.
It's crazy. But that way, the Raiders maybe could feel like they got 2 first-round picks.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's not. I'm not against it because Max Crosby, I think, is. I mean, he's an impact player right away, and Fuzzy Balls is here, Dale. Yeah, just for you.
Yeah, he was given all kinds of money.
Who was he? He just
Bengals and Brews.
Just throw it out. Well,
like I literally was about to do like one from each side, one from each.
I want to know. I want to know what Fuzzy Balls does for a living. I mean, he's just
bro is a baller.
Is Fuzzy Balls a he or a she? Have we determined that yet? Do we know that for a fact? I think that silence is a no. All right, $5 super chat.
What do you identify as?
There you go.
They them?
I don't know. Who knows? Max Crosby for the 10th pick at Shamar Stewart. I would do it. I mean, it's nothing. This is no shade on Shamar. I think Shamar is going to be good. At least I'm hoping so. But would you guys do that? Would you trade number 10 and Shamar Stewart for Max?
I consider it but once again, for me, even pick 10, whether that's including Shamar or without Shamar, I am keeping pick 10 100%, dude.
100% dude. 100% dude.
And inheritance, it is where the hey, well, thank you for sharing the family funds with all of us.
Share some more. Share some more, brother. We appreciate it. All right.
I have a Venmo, but
Project Game Day, you can do that. You got Dale Altman's.
I don't usually do feet picks, but
you're throwing them out there.
Talking about what kind of money we talking about?
What are we talking about? What you want to do, man?
Talking about?
All right, Shamar Stewart at number 10 here. Let's give him his $5 worth here. What you would do it?
I would consider it, but it's once again up to pick 10. I think if Caleb Downs is there, if Sonny Styles is there, I just take the pick. I have that because it's not just the pick and the talent. It's the cost control and the money. And we know the Bengals care about that.
Yeah.
Right? Because with Max Crosby, they're going to have to also probably give him even more of an extension, and he's already fairly highly paid.
Well, do they have to? I mean, if he's under contract, if they trade for him, I mean...
most of the times you trade for somebody, you want them to be happy when they're coming in.
Yeah, we're talking about the Bengals right now.
That's true.
I have to. I mean, I'm just saying.
But I mean, it's still a huge cap hit if you bring him in.
Right. Josh here says moving Shamar also wiggles some extra money around when they bring Max back on his deal. Plus, and it came out today, which somebody told me this a couple months ago, and I forgot to say it on the show. That the Bengals they got more money back this year because of the insurance on Joe Burrow for him missing games this year. So they got like $7 million.
Yeah, Andre Parada said
and somebody told me that. I don't remember. Actually, it might have been
and missed incentives also, I think, from other players. Yeah.
So they got actually more money. Here we go. We got $5 through chat from Augie. All right, we got competition here. Fuzzy Balls, $5 from Augie. Has Ratbirds shenanigans lowered the asking price for Crosby from at least 2s? I think it has. I mean, from other teams, it has. I think the Raiders are still going to try to get there too, but that's where it gets to when it gets closer to the draft. Are they going to stick with we want 2 1s? If not, we're going to keep them. That's the thing, is how serious are the Raiders about getting 2 1s? Because I don't think any other team was going to give them 2 1s other than the Ratbirds. Because remember a month ago when they hired their coach, they came out like, oh, they met Max Crosby and they had drinks and everything's great and yada, 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 kumbaya. And then, 2 weeks later, they trade him or what it was. And now it's like, oh, Max is all in. He's back. Well, I don't believe any of that crap because you said it before you traded him. So I won't believe it until Max plays his first game with the Raiders if he's staying with the Raiders, period, to be honest.
Well,
yeah,
didn't somebody come out and say, AC, like today, that in their eyes, the Raiders are still potentially trading him, regardless of what he's tweeted and whatever. You got to think of the Raiders' perspective of it as well.
Yeah, every in the NFL, everybody's got a price, right? Whether it's a contract or a trade deal. I mean, everybody's got a price. And so I wouldn't be surprised. What I was going to say is I wouldn't be surprised if somehow the lower pick is this year and the higher pick is like a first round next year type of thing or something like that. Just because then for a team taking on Crosby, if he isn't healthy, all that kind of stuff for this year, doesn't play well as he's coming back from that, it kind of mitigates the immediate risk, right? I also would not be surprised if this, again, I talking about Crosby being moved at draft time, the Raiders are going to draft Mendoza number 1. They're going to have another high pick at the high part of the second round, and they can kind of spin the PR a little bit, right? Like they can celebrate Mendoza there and all that kind of stuff with the Crosby trade. And I missed what's so funny.
I'm sorry, Crypt Keeper.
All that white. Hey, it's tan, baby.
He's making fun of us, and then Dale shot the light on his face. That's sorry. That's where I was laughing at.
I thought you were making fun of my lack of attention.
No, he's making fun of us.
Okay.
So sorry, you had a great point, AC, and I wasn't trying to laugh.
I haven't seen the sun in so many months. Leave me alone, Crip.
We don't live in Myrtle Beach. We live in Ohio, okay, or California. All right, so, AC, say your point again. So we can actually.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't hear anything you said.
I missed all of it.
I figured. No, I just said it wouldn't. Well, God, where'd you lose me at?
Yeah, now who's darker?
Yeah,
there
take that, Crip.
There you go. No, I would not be surprised if Crosby is dealt around, draft the first night of the draft or shortly before, that sort of thing, because the Raiders PR spin could be, we've got our franchise quarterback now. We've got potentially a wide receiver, something very exciting that they could kind of distract that whole Crosby thing, even if they get a lesser deal than what was initially promised by the Ravens.
Yeah. That's the thing. I thought I read so much stuff on this from Pac-Man. I thought he said something about it might happen Saturday night. I don't think it's happening that soon for any team because, like I said, like we all said here, I think the Raiders still want 2 number 1s. They got 2 number 1s for Max, so they don't want to come back off of that. They want to get that. So it's going to take a little while, and they're going to have to get, like I said, they have to get to the point where they're going to have to make a decision. Like, all right, you can have, say our second round pick and our first round next year, or Shamar Stewart and pick 10, or whatever the Bengals offer, or whoever offers them. You take this, or you're going to hang on the Max, which if you're the Raiders, I'm like, it makes sense to get rid of them because they are in a rebuild mode. By the time they are playoff ready, Max is going to be another 2 or 3 years older. Who knows, how effective he will be by then. I mean, you never know. I mean, football ages everybody. Once you get 30, you drop off sometimes. Not saying that Max will. I have no idea. That's something that the Raiders have to consider because they're not going to be competitive this year. I don't think anyway. They want the draft capital. I think they want it more for this year so they can hopefully quickly get better is what I would think. But
yeah, I mean, I know you probably talked about this on your show, Jeff, throughout the week. I mean, do we really believe that the Ravens were trying to get Crosby and Hendrickson?
Nope.
No, they were like, Hendrickson Price is something we can do, and we can keep 2 first-round picks. We all said we thought the 2 first was a little steep for a guy coming off an injury. That's why I wouldn't give up 2 first. No one would. That's why they took that deal.
And going back up to what Fuzzy Cajones said earlier, I would actually, I mean, me personally, I would consider the trade, including Shamar, but I also would kind of be like, if I'm the Bengals, not only is the Shamar contract palatable, but I would want Shamar to be part of this reconstruction and this multi-headed pass rush unit that includes Murphy, that includes a bunch of these guys. So I would still want
that they added.
Yeah,
I still think Sam
Yeah.
Johnson's piece.
Yeah, but but the only way I could see something like that happening is because there was kind of a, I can't remember if it was Al Golden or Jerry Montgomery kind of said, like, Shamar's got to get in the weight room. He's got to be with us all summer. He's got to train hard, that sort of thing. And so if they are already exhausted by something, maybe that prompts them to move on. But I don't really see or sense that, really. I think it's more just like, hey, big year 2. You weren't here basically all summer. So, and you were hurt most of the year. So get to it. We need you this year.
Start working. I mean, I just think of the pie in the sky thing. Like just, if the Bengals did make that trade, they get Max, and then Bain, they kept number 10, and Bain is there, and you got Max, Bain, and who's the guy we just signed from Seattle?
Good, Ronnie. It's good. Boye Mafe.
Boye Mafe. You can get those 3. I mean, that would be unbelievable. I mean, now let's roll to the guy that they had the press conference with. They signed yesterday, Jonathan Allen here. He's a 3 tech. He's been a very good pass rusher in the past. He's more of an all-around guy. He can do what you need. I think this is as close as we've got, as long as they keep BJ Hill, because Richard Skinner said yesterday he thinks they might be cutting BJ Hill. But I think this is as close as we've gotten when we had DJ Reader, BJ Hill, and Larry O. Could be that rotation again. I don't know. Am I grasping for straws here, guys? Or
no? And I was a card-carrying member of the Peter Woods Society for Pick 10. Mm-hmm. I'm out. And Caleb Banks, I was never in on because he had recurring foot. Well, he had recurring foot injuries all season. That's why he played 3 games. Mm-hmm. Like, I was never on that. I don't care what your RAS score is. Like, I was never in on that. So you needed something. And getting Jonathan Allen was a great pickup, but man, they really missed out on the linebackers.
Yes,
What I've been told, they were in on multiple linebackers and missed out. And it's not just the Devin Lloyds and this and that. I don't even know if they were in on Leo Chenal like we thought they should be.
I thought they were. I thought they were in on all of them from what I heard, but they weren't willing to go the extra mile or whatever it was. I don't know. AC, what do you got?
I mean, maybe they think one of the Ohio State guys is going to be there. One of the linebackers, particularly Styles. Maybe they're just hyper confident in that.
That'd be awesome.
There are still some guys, not at linebacker, but you saw L'Jarius Sneed get cut earlier from the Titans. So there's going to be some guys kind of trickling out there. Potentially, there's the Patriots guy that Cody Toomey on Twitter. He mentioned as well, so that there's some connections there, but not stuff that truly would move the needle as much as some others. But going to Jonathan Allen and the whole BJ Hill being cut, I don't see that necessarily.
I don't either. I don't see BJ Hill being cut.
I think
he posted something. He was happy about it.
Yeah, I think they're trying to recreate.
What they had.
But and John said it this way earlier on our show, and I thought it was an astute observation. If they were going to pay 20-some million a year to, isn't that what JFM made? He made some outrageous money, right? If they were going to pay a lot of money like that to a JFM and him be that guy, they would probably prefer to have BJ Hill at, I don't remember his cap. I think he's like at 11 million or 13 million or something this year. And then Allen at his number 2. You combine those 2 guys and you hope you can replicate what you could get from a guy like that with a couple players, one of which is already on your books, and not spend that extra, double-digit million per year. And you have a Jonathan Allen and you hope he's more back into Washington form. Some people think he was used out of place. I've been seeing some rumblings about that last year. Even I think Javon Hargrave agreed with that sentiment himself. So I like the move. It's not the guy that you necessarily wanted, but he's a hell of a leader. Yeah. He's a hell of a leader. I still think he's got juice in the tank. And even if it is for 1 year, I think it helps rotationally up front and in the middle.
And that's the thing for me. It's like one of the biggest things I said is they need to get snaps off of BJ Hill. BJ Hill does better with less snaps. He's since we've got him, because one of his best years was the first year he was here. when he was not splitting, but him and Larry O were sharing time, or however I don't know what the snap rate time was, but that was one of his best years. That's where I think, and with them getting Allen, him getting older, BJ older. Yeah, he even said in his press conference, he wants to play the whole time, but he does better with the right amount of snaps. He didn't want to say less snaps, but the right amount of snaps. So that's what I think the Bengals will do too.
Can I just say he had 34 pressures?
Yeah,
and 4 or 5 sacks. Like, from the interior, it's still, and that was with Minnesota. The year before he had 26 pressures. The year before 49, 47. Before that 67, 50. But the 34 is not showing a steep decline. He still did a good job. Minnesota just didn't have the season that a lot of people thought they would have.
Yes, AC, you raised your hand.
Yeah, so Larry Ogunjobi had about 724 snaps in 2021. Okay. BJ Hill had 670, so they split that pretty even. Give me a sec on what BJ Hill's snap counts were last year.
Well, I will say 420 for in Washington when he had 26. There's no decline. He's a 40 pressure guy. That's a lot.
I like 40 pressure guys. Yeah. All right, let me get to this. Has been up here for a little while. I got to get this up there. $5 super chat from Augie. Talk about Max again. Throw Shamar Stewart is worth a shot. Al and the Raiders organization has been known for to cast off players since 1980. Jim Plunkett. So yeah, we'll see. Getting back to that, but yeah, I do, like I said, this is a good move. It's not the guy, but it's not a bad move. I don't think Jonathan Allen is a guy that's on the decline. Like Dale said, like AC said, he's got pressures. And Jake Lisco had their Locked On Vikings guy on there, kind of talking about the same thing when he was in the Viking, where he wasn't used the same way he was in DC. So that's where he wasn't as I hate to say he wasn't as impactful, but he wasn't get as many sacks. But the pressures, if you get the pressure up there, and like he said in the press conference, is if he gets the pressure up the middle and he keeps the quarterback in front of him, and the edge crashes the corner and they keep him there, then the quarterback's got to decide who's going to get the sack. That's what you want to happen. I mean, that's what we're hoping. And I love the video. I got it from Zim. I retweeted it. I think Joe Shiesty 9 or somebody made it. It was about him and the leadership that Jonathan Allen is. And that's the thing I think we've gotten out of all three of these guys that they've signed. Because last year we kept talking about who's the voice in that locker room. What's the identity of this? I think all three of these guys give them voices, give them identity, give them leadership that I don't think they had last year. Because let's be honest, I think BJ or DJ Reader was the leader in that locker room. And then when they lost him, you lost Jesse Bates, and you lost even Pratt. You say what you want to say about Isaiah Pratt. I think he was the leader in that locker room. You lose those guys, they didn't have anybody to replace him. I think these guys might be the locker room leaders that this team needs. I mean, am I good?
Well, can I say, like with BJ's, just the pressures, 29 last year, 32 the year before. Jonathan Allen clears that just last year in his down season in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And his highest ever was 45. Jonathan Allen's a guy who's been in the 60s in pressures from the interior. Like, adding pass rush juice on the interior is smart. Whether it's a 31, 32-year-old, it doesn't matter. No. Like, it's smart. You needed it.
Just because you're 30 doesn't mean you will drop off the cliff. It does happen, but it doesn't mean that for every player. And he's shown no sign of decline. But like I said, the one thing I'm hoping they'll still address is linebacker. And our boy Chop had the most epic graphic of Bobby Wagner I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't know, AC, if you've seen it or not, but
I did not.
You don't have it? Like, why do you? How can you reference it and not have it?
Oh, I got it on Twitter. I just don't have it on the show here. I'm sure you can bring it up, but
I'll bring it up.
To me, the reason I bring that up, Bobby Wagner is the one that's out there that I want. I mean, he's the veteran, and he's kind of the guy where I think he could come here and start, but he's also a guy with his age that could start. You know, these guys, younger guys, might beat him out. They might not. I still want him on the team. What's your guys' thoughts on getting Bobby Wagner, or is there another linebacker out there that you guys think they might get? There you go. Look, Oh, other way. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that
Oh.
that epic graphic right there? Epic.
God damn it, Bobby. We need you.
Damn it, Bobby.
I did understand that line. Dale. Yeah, I like it from a lot of standpoints. And someone pointed out on X, I forgive me, I can't remember who it was, but Wagner's a guy who has played with both Jonathan Allen and Mafe, right? He's played with both those guys. So, there's familiarity there. That would have to be obviously be a stopgap thing, but leadership, more Super Bowl rings on that defense and accountability. I'm for it.
Oh, well, I got $10 super chat. But I'll put this up here real quick before that. Wait a second. No, what? That wasn't it. Somebody said about cutting and picking up Queen. Where'd it go?
Patrick Queen.
Yeah, somebody put that up there.
I talked about that earlier, and Greg's like, his missed tackle rate, he had some of the worst, along with our linebackers and Geno Stone. I get it. I would still be okay with it because, he's still a starting caliber.
Would you rather have him or Wagner?
Wagner for me, but I just don't think the Bengals are in on him, unfortunately.
Why do you think that? Just because it hasn't been signed yet? I don't know.
He's going to be 37, and they're so uncomfortable with that.
True. But at this point, they got to add somebody, don't they? I guess they should.
They wanted Dre Greenlaw. They wanted him.
That went quick. He went quick back to the 49ers. He ran back there. So, all right, $5 super chat from Fuzzy Balls. Dale, if the Bengals can trade back to 15th or 18th to get an extra second-round pick, how about T.J. Parker with a second-round pick? If he falls, we got Jacob Rodriguez with our first.
Absolutely. That's what we did a mock draft on our show, and Carnell Tate was still on the board at 10, but down Styles, all the guys that normally like Bain, Bailey, all those guys were gone. It's like, that's when I would do Max Crosby, number one. That's when I'd be like, here's pick 10, Max Crosby, you want to do it. But we traded down. We traded down with the Jets at pick 16. And we were able to pick up Avion Terrell. There's other guys we could have went with. That's my guy from Clemson. I think he is Trent McDuffie 2.0. I've said it since summer scouting. I'm just standing on business for how I feel about that guy and how he would help our team. We're talking about adding pass rush. That's a corner we could add. But whoever you get at that pick. And then we did take Jacob Rodriguez. We added an extra second rounder. We took R. Mason Thomas, and then we took the D tackle, Grayson Holton. I'm like, dude, I love this mock. Some people hated it. And I'm like, this would dramatically improve your defense. That would be the type of shit you should
And you're not taking crazy swings at that either.
No, and you're taking leaders and talent.
Now, another thing that I brought up to Skinny yesterday, which shocked me that he didn't think they would do this. Well, he would do it, but he doesn't think the Bengals would do it, which I guess that part doesn't shock me. But the crazy thing, because everybody keeps talking about Sonny Styles, which I don't think he's getting to 10, but just think if he's there, I think the Bengals would and should take him. But he's like, that would be 3 rookie linebackers. I'm like, yeah, but you got a really good one. Yes, sir. Timeout. What do you got?
Because TJ Parker, he's talking about TJ Parker. I think TJ Parker is still a first-round pick. He made another comment, Fuzzy did, and he's generous with his donation. So, yeah. TJ Parker is a defensive end. He does fit what the Bengals like. He had a down season for his standards because he had 6 forced fumbles, all this. He was another, like Peter Woods, another top 5, top 10 player.
I was going to say that.
Coming into this year, he had a good Senior Bowl. He had a good combine. I still think he ends up in the first, but I don't care. First, if trading down in the second round, give me TJ Parker on my team. I think the Bengals will love TJ Parker. If they trade down, maybe it's not Avion Terrell. TJ Parker is their first-round pick. I think they would be thrilled with that. And I think Bengals fans would be mad. Oh, he's from Clemson. Oh, Miles Murphy. Guess what? Miles Murphy was one of our best players last year.
Yeah, just because they're drafted from a certain school and that one player, it's different players. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and different mold too, right? I mean, right. I just wonder what in the world happened to the Clemson defense from 24 to 25? I mean, just the statistical drop off of some of these guys is like, what in the world happened? But
makes no sense.
Yeah. I mean, he looks every bit the part of an NFL edge rusher, does Parker. So, he could be one of those guys that, like, I think a lot of people, he's a second round pick, but some team is just enamored with him towards the back end of the first. And
he's a Patriot. He's a Patriot.
Well,
I've never seen more of a New England Patriot than TJ Parker. Like, if he's there.
All right, Troy Taylor, thanks for the $5 super chat. Been listening to AC for years. Shout out to him. Do you guys know when to expect visits with other players? Snead or Bosa would be awesome. That would probably, I think, I'm just guessing next week, probably this coming week. I would think at the earliest, because you're to the point where people aren't going to sign on the dotted line. People want to check them out and stuff like that. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Oh, my favorite part of Bengals free agency, the visit watch.
The
right?
visit
and
watch.
when they come in and what flight they're on, where they go to dinner, did they go to the mall, did they leave without a deal, which is pretty often. God almighty. No, but I would expect that to ramp up, like you said, next week, just because this week has just been kind of
crazy.
Speed dial and get guys, quickly done. I think when kind of the mega attention on a lot of these guys starts to die down, that's where, I think you'll start seeing more guys do in-person visits. But I do think also, again, not to throw a little bit of a bucket of cold water on everything, but I think the Bengals will primarily look at released players and not those who had their contracts expire normally, because that won't mess with that Trey third-round pick comp pick.
Comp pick?
There you go.
Easy for you to say.
Pick comp.
Pick comp. Paul says, is anyone given a reason for the importance for touching your toes? Useless. You're picking yourself up off the ground. What did I miss? Everybody keeps talking about it. Was that a thing? I mean, I know you say, I guess Max couldn't touch it.
That's a report. It's not that. It's the scans. But there was a report like Crosby couldn't touch his toes and they failed his physical.
I'm like, well, he just got off crutches, so he might not be able to. Like, it's not like he had the surgery in June. He had it at the end of the season. So let's see. Augie, $2 super chat. Let's hear for all.
Oh, they're starting to dwindle. They're starting to dwindle.
Only $2. Only $2. Let's hear for
I'm
top
kidding.
three
Thank you.
Your top 3 draft picks choices for 10th. It's easy. Baines, Styles, Caleb Downs. That's, I think.
Yeah.
I miss anybody?
Like, pretty realistic. Like, I was Moreau Freeling and then the extension with Orlando Brown. I'm like,
were you surprised that happened was for 2 years? I was
a little bit because I love Orlando. But I'm worried about that cliff, and I feel like we were starting to see some drop off in his play last year at times.
And he was healthy all last year too. That's the first time I think with the Bengals. I think he didn't miss.
And I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm just as a
Yeah.
Bengal person and watching tape, I am concerned that Orlando Brown, but the money was cheap. Like, I'm not mad about that.
No, it was.
And I love him as a person and leadership and everything with that. And it's hard to find linemen. But I was like, man, it just set up really well. Like, Monroe Freeling was there at 10. Man, you've got your left tackle of the future. Young athletic guy to protect Burrow for 10 years, 5 years, whatever it is. And Orlando, I am a little concerned. Not trying to be a hater. I'm happy for him. And if he ever sees me in person, he's gonna beat the shit out of me, probably.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that hard. He's like this much taller than you are. He's just like,
no, I'm scrappy, bro.
scrappy.
He'll bite at Dale will bite at the ankles. You know what I mean?
But no, it surprised me that was the extension. If there was going to be one extension, DJ Turner should have been the one.
I don't disagree with that. Or Dax, one of the two.
So going back to Augie's question and what the Ohio 513 here said, this is where I might throw a wrench. Obviously, Downs I like a lot. I would say, though, and call me wacky, I'm kind of starting to get enamored with the idea of Jeremiah Love on the Bengals. I am if the Bengals, a lot of those guys are gone, right?
Mhm.
And if you feel you've met your need and your safety group is good enough, I don't know, man. Jeremiah Love, Chase
If we
Brown
got
in
Max,
that same backfield.
if we got Max, yeah. If we got Max and 10, yeah.
I get it's like a luxury pick, but he does feel
he'd be
like a kind of
awesome.
a generational running back.
Yeah, he'd be great.
And let's just say the Bengals sprinkle in another linebacker or two in free agency. Let's say they maybe get another edge guy out there in free agency as the weeks go on, and you haven't really done much to address the offense. Not that it needs a lot of addressing, but it is top heavy. It is top heavy in terms of its talent. And, Chase Brown's been excellent. I love the guy. What happens if he's somehow not available? Right. So I don't know, man. I'm kind of starting to go Bain, Styles, and Love if it comes down to it. But I like Downs too.
There you go. Crib, I think, is asking me why is my back hurting? Because I'm old and I pinched a nerve in my back.
Because you can't touch your toes.
I can't. I can't.
Like Max Crosby. You can't touch your toes, bro.
I literally can't touch my toes. I have, like I said, my chair's over there. I left that chair to go over here, and I went in my truck or my car a couple times to go to the chiropractor. That's it. Other than that, I haven't went anywhere at all. So yeah, that's what's going on there.
Can I say Jeremiah Love is number 2 on my board? So if he's there at 10, and Styles, Downs, Reese, Bain, Bailey are off the board, like if you cannot trade down and someone wants to come up and get Jeremiah Love, you just take him and say that guy is going to help your team, not just your offense, your team, because he can run the ball, keep you on the field. You also have Chase Brown, but also what he does as a receiver is elite.
Right,
he's elite in everything he does.
Yep.
Jason Walker here, my boy, says Cook allowed 128 quarterback rating and coverage. He isn't the answer. What do you guys got on that?
He's a reliable tackler. It's not like I watched all his tape from Kansas City. It's an upgrade from Geno Stone, who went to the Bills. Which good luck, Mike Goodberry.
By a mile. And I mean, it depends. You could look at that stat. You could look at how PFF rated him as the 4th overall safety by their overall score last year too, and look at it that way. He's not a 5-6 interception guy back there. He's not like a ball hawk guy, but I think he brings good football IQ. I think he brings toughness, tenacity, and tackling ability. And if you shore up the guys in front of him, which the Bengals have attempted to do, you can criticize the moves if you want, but I think if you shore up that in front of him, it could be a really good pickup for the Bengals. But let's also not forget the Chiefs weren't the same, kind of like Clemson. They weren't the same team last year either, right?
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say definitively he is the answer, but I think he's a pretty damn good upgrade from what they had.
I always say this, like free agency always kind of leads us to normally what we got a good shot at what we think the Bengals are going to do. What they've done so far, to me, it's either going to be Baines or if Sonny Styles is there, I think they have a hard time, but I hate to put him in there. I think it's either Baines or Downs because we threw Peter Woods out of this. I don't think he's going to be there. That's where I still think it's one of those two. I mean, if Styles is there, I'd have a hard time not taking him because we need, especially if they don't add to the linebacker room, you would be stupid to not take him. But I just don't think he's going to be there at 10. I just don't. I think he killed it too much at the combine and shot up the boards higher. I think people are going to take. I think he might be a top 3, top 5 pick probably. I think. Am I crazy in that deal?
No, and I don't think Caleb Downs is going to be there either. He is my number 1 player.
Right.
Like,
so it might be Bain.
I know it's safety. I know it's this, that, but he is going to be that rare guy that goes within the top 5 to 8 picks. He's certainly not getting past Kansas City. I know they brought in Elohi Gilman.
Well, they lost. Yeah, they lost. Well, they lost. They signed a running back and they lost their safety to us. So yeah, that's why I think Downs is going to Kansas City. That's you me. I think you me talked about that. I can't remember.
I think he could go well before that. He could go to the Giants. He could go to the Saints. Like, you know what I mean? 5, 8. There's so many spots similar with Styles, similar with Jeremiah Love. Like the Titans could take him at 4. I think all the top talent's going to be off the board. You're going to ask yourself, what do you do at pick 10?
Trade for Max Crosby. See that?
Well,
that's what I'm worried about is everybody that we want will be gone before then.
Well, also, that's why it also would be a blessing. Let's say all those defensive guys you're targeting as the Bengals at number 10 are gone, and somehow, the Chiefs, they picked up Kenneth Walker in free agency. Are they going to draft another running back? I don't know. Let's say Love is there at 10. Let's say Love is there at 10 and all those defensive guys are gone. You not only have the ability to bring him in and just massively accelerate your offense, but if you don't want to pick him, there will probably be Seattle's and others later in the draft that will give you a lot of draft capital to move up and take that guy.
And it won't be the Raiders because they already got a running back. So.
Right. They got the generational guy last year.
Right.
So yeah.
Exactly. So that's the other thing. It's like hopefully there's somebody there that we don't necessarily have to get if the Raiders if Styles is there or if Bain is there, I have a hard time trade. I mean, I love Max, but if Bain is there, we can get him. I'd have a hard time making that trade because you got Bain and you have him under control, and you got Shamar Stewart, and then you got Mafe we just signed. So I mean, that one. I mean, right? If they got Bain, this pass rush that would help our pass rush a lot. If you had that, and then you have Shamar. Hopefully Shamar Stewart takes that leap where he's effective outside and inside. I mean that's the gift or whatever. That's what you want for Shamar. You want him to be effective in both areas. So you can use them, but they can move around wherever they want, which is what we heard when they drafted him last year. We didn't see it yet, so I don't know. Well, it's been very, very interesting. I always say that this whole thing, they need to. I still want them to sign a freaking linebacker, but that's where I just don't know that if there's going to be one out there. And I said this before free agency. They like their guys. They do that, so they might not sign one. It's crazy.
Jeff, will you walk with me for a minute?
Yeah, where we're going.
All right.
I can't walk too much. Can I just sit here and listen to you?
You can sit and listen.
Okay, good. My back's kind of.
So let's say my top 9 players are off the board on my personal board.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Just so nobody, I'm not bullshitting.
Yeah.
But Caleb Downs at 1, Jeremiah Love at 2, Ruben Bain, Fernando Mendoza, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, David Bailey, Monroe Freeling, I have at 8, Carnell Tate at 9. Those are my top 9 players. Who are you taking at 10 if all those guys get off the board? Whatever order, it doesn't matter. That's my top 9 players.
That's what I'm worried about. Yeah.
Well, who do you guys take at 10?
I think, and it's not necessarily who I would pick, but I think it would be Delane. I think they would go corner at that spot.
They would have to go corner. That would be the best. That would be BPA at that point, right? Would be cornerback. He would be the best one available for that pick, right? Dale, you're the
yeah. You said okay. So you said the 3 Ohio State guys are gone. Jeremiah Love's gone. Mendoza's gone. Carnell Tate, actually the 4 Ohio State guys. Carnell Tate's gone. You said Freeling is gone.
Yeah, he goes to. It would be probably 6 to the Browns.
Okay,
but he's 8 on my board.
And then Bailey's gone. And
Love.
Yeah.
You said Love.
I already said Love. Who was the other
Downs,
one?
Love, Bain, Mendoza, Reese, Styles, Bailey, Freeling, and Tate are the top 9 picks because it's top 9 players on my board.
They'd go corner, I think. Or move back.
Mesidor Delaney.
I have Malino at 10, Mansour Delane at 11, Jordan Tyson, they're not going to go there. Fano, they're not going to go there. Lemon, I don't think they're going to go there. Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end, would be intriguing to me. Jermon McCoy.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Tom Jones, is Delane still injured? That's what he wants to know.
It was McCoy that was.
McCoy
broke his foot. Yeah, I didn't know if Delane was hurt or not.
But who I took in our mock is he's 19th on my board, so it's like we traded back, but it's Avion Terrell from Clemson. All roads lead back to this. You can say Mansour Delane, you can say Jermon McCoy. I have them higher on my board at corner, but a pure fit for the Bengals, I really do believe Avion Terrell is McDuffie 2.0. You just saw what he got traded for and the money he got paid. Summer scouting, I literally said Avion Terrell is Trent McDuffie 2.0. He's a little bit undersized, but he is a dog. Inside, outside, you can play him in either one. He would immediately slot in as our slot cornerback stud. I think he's got close to 10 forced fumbles for his career.
Yes.
Ton of interceptions. Like this dude is a playmaker, and you're talking about improving the pass rush, but what else improves your pass rush? When your secondary is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's
you have Brian Cook, you got Jordan Battle, you've got Dax, DJ, and then you add Avion Terrell. I may be the only person saying this, but I will continue to say it. We upgraded our pass rush by upgrading our secondary in this scenario for me.
Well, have you looked? That's what we didn't have a great pass rush when we went to the Super Bowl. It was how many times? I always go back to the AFC Championship game where in Kansas City where Mahomes had nowhere to throw the ball. Because our secondary was so good. Because we had Jesse Bates, Von Bell, Chibe Wuzie, Eli Apple. It was a very good, and our linebacking core was good too. So I mean,
you had Prime. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, you had Prime Hubbard that was able to he played spy sometimes, and then they were able to keep Mahomes in that. Yeah, and so that in that specific scenario. But I didn't mean to interrupt you, Ice. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I think
interrupted more.
To your point, it wasn't like a all-time historic pass rush, but it was timely. It was timely,
and
when
the whole
plays
defense
happened, it was clutch. Yeah,
that whole defense was timely. I mean, people would say, "Oh, it's luck." You turn the ball over that many times, it's not luck. You made good plays on it. So it's what works, and and they could, like Dale said, they could do that. I mean, because I'll put this out on Twitter too, and I'll ask you guys this. With what they've done so far, I do think they have improved their defense. Because some people put out there like, oh, great, we got these guys, we got the same thing we had last year. I think we got a better safety play. I think Allen's gonna be a better interior defense line to get pressure than we've had. Mafe is going to be at least healthy, and hopefully he'll do what Trey can. I think he can. We didn't have Trey at all last year. So I do think they improved the defense. It's not as much as we all want. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, have they?
Well, linebacker's still the glaring hole, which
right.
All roads to me point back to Bobby Wagner. And you could say, oh, he's not good in coverage. Blah, blah, blah. I don't give a shit. This guy is going to turn 37, but he had like a 90 PFF run defense grade. Like, he is a veteran. He's a leader, and he is a dog of just getting it done year in, year out. Quality player that you don't have to worry if he's going to show up, if he's going to try. I feel good about the Jonathan Allen. Like Jonathan Allen, Bobby Wagner. Like
I would take Bobby Wagner.
Brian Cook, then Boye Mafe, Miles Murphy's leap. You're hoping to happen. Shamar Stewart's leap. You're hoping to happen. That's the type of stuff you could go into the draft. Bobby Wagner does make that much of a difference for me.
If they add Bobby Wagner, does this make this offseason? What grade would it be? To me, if they add Bobby Wagner, you're at a B, I think, at least. I'm not going to give an A.
B plus, A minus, strictly because I feel like you really set yourself up to not have to push anything, and you can take BPA.
Right. Yes, that's what we want. Good, AC.
And I want to go back to your last question, Ice, about have they seemingly have improved some key elements of their defense, especially from last year that were problems. The thing is also, I mean, I know he wasn't the same guy last year because he was hurt. You are letting a Trey Hendrickson and a guy who's easily a double-digit sack guy.
17 and a half, 2 straight years.
Yeah. So what you have to hope for is that Mafe turns into that 9-sack guy that we saw in 2024 with maybe an increased role, and you recreate those other, sacks from different spots, a Miles Murphy, a Shamar Stewart inside, your Jonathan out. You're trying to recreate that, not just one spot that's getting you 17 and a half sacks. You're trying to emulate that from different spots. And so it may not be as flashy to have the at this point, the runner-up, the former runner-up defensive player of the year. I get that. I loved Trey Hendrickson when he was here, but I think if they are successful in kind of scattering that around, his production, scattering it around where there's not maybe an all-star, all-pro guy there, but you can get pressure from different spots, that's going to be key. I think that's what they've tried to do by kind of sprinkling around the money too. But linebacker is still a gigantic weakness. I would say, if they signed a Wagner or somebody like that, I'd probably still give them a solid B. It's weird. I said this on our show. I like the moves that they made individually a little bit better than the overall grade that I would give their offseason. I don't know if that really makes sense, but that's kind of, that's
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, I like the moves, like, in theory and how it helps the Bengals and stuff, but there's some inactivity, the missing out on the line. But like when you look at it from kind of an overarching, when you look at it from the overarching thing, you're like, okay, that's it. Brian Cook, A move, Mafe, B plus, A minus, all that kind of stuff. But I would still say if Wagner comes, I'd give it a B.
I would. We got Fuzzy Balls give for another $2 super chat. Hold on, Dale. Let me get this out of here first. When's the last time we had a shutdown corner? Pac-Man.
What's your definition of that?
Well, I think DJ Turner can be that guy. I mean, if he,
I think he is that guy.
Yeah. I mean, he should have been a Pro Bowler last year. So I mean, I think our two corners we have are pretty damn good. We just need to get that slot. Which, who's the guy they signed up?
Jalen Davis. Well,
Yeah,
that's what I was talking about. Rob keeps saying we just signed a young guy. No, we signed him for 1 year, and he's also almost 30 years old.
Yeah,
this is a young guy. This is a practice squad
That's what
guy,
they need to add to that still.
If that's what you're referring to, Rob, if they sign someone else I don't know about, please comment and let me know.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so they do slot things they need to add. Linebacker, obviously, slot they need to add. Another pass rusher. We'll see what happens. But I mean, I'm not as upset as I was last year with the free agent. Last year, they got TJ Slayton and they got Warren Burke, and then we didn't get anybody until Noah Fant and Dalton Reiser, and that was almost the season almost started. So so I'm happy. I don't think they're done. I do think they're going to add to the linebacker. They have to. That's where I'm at. They have to.
Well, there's just not a lot out there, and Bobby Okereke or whatever. Yeah. We were talking about missed tackle rate. Like I was putting this stuff together of the guys yesterday when Greenlaw was still maybe an option before he signed.
He signed quick too.
Missed tackle rate, because we've had missed tackle 7.5 for Greenlaw. Wagner 4.8% missed tackle rate. That's why I'm like, we need that. Akeem Davis-Gaither, if you want him back, 12%. That's not great. Jack Gibbons, who we don't talk about, another guy that the Patriots let go. His is 8.6. It's kind of, it's decent. And then Okereke, though, highest of all these guys, 13%.
Yep. Hey, is the guy for the Bills? Is he still out there? The linebacker for the Bills.
Matt Milano.
Is he still out there?
I don't have him down. He's just been injured, and he's looked slow the last couple of years. Like he don't look like the Matt Milano from a couple of years ago, but I do see people toss that name out.
Yeah,
that's just.
Yeah. All right. Well, boys, we've been on for an hour. I appreciate you guys. Got anything else you want to say before I let you plug some stuff and get the heck out of here?
The Bengals are interested in Avion Terrell, Dale. They talked to him at the combine, I think.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, and it's like Al Golden was there. I know Jerry Montgomery's there yesterday for the Peter Woods, TJ Parker, and DeMonte Capehart, who had a great combine for defensive linemen, specifically with Jerry Montgomery. But it's like, is Al Golden also there thinking about Avion Terrell? And he met with him before? I don't think it's crazy, guys. His brother, A.J. Terrell, been a very good corner in Atlanta.
I mean,
and I'm telling you, I don't say it lightly. I didn't make the comparison lightly over the summer. Trent McDuffie. That's his potential. I am
like
saying that that's how high I am on Avion Terrell. That no one talks about for a pick for the Bengals.
Now here's a thought. Let's just say the Bengals do sign Bobby Wagner and they're able to draft. I don't know what that do, but they're able to draft Sonny Styles too.
Well, then we'll all just come.
That would be
come together.
Come and come again.
Fuzzy balls.
I was gonna say it, but I didn't.
Yeah, I just say it. You know?
All right. On that note, AC plugs and stuff where we get the heck out of here.
Cincy Jungle Orange and Black Insider is the show, and I for those who follow me at CJ Anthony CUI, I'm sure you can look at my timeline and see what an emotional roller coaster I was on this week, as were a lot of us. Tuesday and Wednesday were rough.
We had a great conversation Tuesday night. We had a great conversation Tuesday night on the phone.
Yeah. But love you guys, and thanks for having me on as always. And we'll talk soon.
Hey, try not to be so cold out there, okay? Enjoy the sun.
I'm like roasting right now. I'm sorry. I have a fan on me and I know. Sorry. I know.
It's California.
All right. Gosh, I'm out of here. Jeez.
CAC. Oh God! All right,
an asshole, man. I fucking hate that guy. It's 90 degrees. I got my fucking clothes off. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ!
I'm waiting for when he just shows up with his shirt off, and just, hey guys, how you doing? Dale, plug some stuff before I let you go, brother.
Project Game Day,
yeah,
draft event, all that good stuff. DJ Turner will be the guest. Live show. Free food. Well, not free. You pay $35 for your ticket. But you
buy the ticket, then you get the food.
And you get to do the foaling. You know, normally you go in, you do foaling, that costs money. So it's just and DJ Turner is gonna be there, which is awesome. Hopefully he signs that extension.
That'd be awesome. And you can announce it on the show, which you're gonna be at. Which, by the way, we need to talk to the Foaling Warehouse, because I need to make sure we can plug into the internet. Because if we don't plug into the internet, these people out here that watch our show all the time might not be able to hear us or see us or anything. So
you got to put an actual cord in the internet?
Yeah, an Ethernet cord. That would be great. That's usually what I do at live shows, which I talked to Cincy James last night. He goes, talk to Bourbon. I'm like, okay. So Bourbon, if you're watching, I got to call you.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would ask Matt, like, honestly, him and Joe, Joe,
I got to
figure that out. I mean, we're having a conversation that should be had off air probably, but exactly. Either way, decent first week of free agency. I'm disappointed. I give it a C right now because I think we have so many holes, but there's ways to improve it still. Linebacker is really dwindling. Like, Bobby Wagner does make that big of a difference for me. He really does. Bobby Okereke doesn't. Mm-hmm. Jack Gibbons, maybe, but you were cut. Like, there's a lot of things. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. Jeff, I appreciate you having me as always. And I hope everybody enjoys their weekend.
Exactly. Maybe we'll have to do some live shows this weekend when they sign Bobby Wagner and you and me are partying.
I'll be ready to go. I'll be pumped.
I'll be in the basement because I'm not going anywhere.
I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving. I'm going to stay right here. All right, Cap, Dale, whatever your name is. You look a lot like Cap, the beard and everything. You know, yeah.
I'm the fan of the year.
There you go.
My wife's also fan of the year.
Yeah,
I don't know. I was just trying to.
Who knows? It
wasn't trying to be mean. I was just trying to live up.
We love Cap. We love making fun of him. All right, dude. I'll see you. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Go, of course, follow Bengals and Brews. Follow Cincy Jungle and the Orange and Black Insider Podcast. Those guys do a great job. Shout out to our sponsors, T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out their website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And Party Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. I don't know, you need your grass cut, you need a paver patio, you need anything. I mean, anything. Maybe you're a do-it-yourselfer. Maybe you want to buy some mulch, some gravel. Fake. Party Lawn and Landscaping. And of course, Meyer Window Doors and More. I got them in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. Meyer Window Doors and More. And of course, my favorite brewery, Cincinnati Lager House. Go on down there to the banks, get you some delicious Lager House beer, some delicious Lager House food, and of course, tell all my sponsors you heard about them from Sports with Strawberry Ice. Exactly. Shout out to all my sponsors. Make sure you guys, like I said, tell them you heard about them from me. Go down to the Lager House, drink some beer, eat some delicious food this weekend. Call Pride Lawn Landscaping. Get your, grass, schedule it to get your grass cut and get some, mulch and all that cool stuff. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. And as always, I was like, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. I gotta do all this other stuff. Thanks for watching. I've been live streaming YouTube. This is why I read it down. Thanks for watching my live stream on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch, and Instagram. You can follow me on all those, along with Threads and TikTok. I do have a Substack. I wrote an article on it yesterday, and I wrote an article on Wes Miller being fired or should be fired. When was that? January, I think. So make sure you go to my Substack, Sports Strawberry. Check out my articles. I would greatly appreciate it. You guys are the best. If you want to listen to the show, it's on 1 hour and 8 minutes right now, and don't want to watch it, if you're good in the car, driving around, I don't know, in the morning, well, not tomorrow, but, whenever you want to listen to it, just check it out. It's on the podcast, on BeanPod, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Do me a favor. First of all, listen to it, rate it, like it, review it, leave a 5-star review, and a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. All right, you guys have a wonderful weekend. Come on, Bobby Wagner. That would help me out a lot in my Bengals fandom. But as always, remember one thing and one thing only. That is Houday for life. BWO, Bengals World Order, baby. Throw it up. And that's your sports, baby. See ya!
Another great show. You guys still here? The show's over. You can come back tomorrow. I'm out of here. See ya.